Hello, hello there, my crafty friends. It is Candy here from SweetStamper.com with your weekly Simple and Stepped Up Facebook Live. Welcome, welcome. Every Thursday I come to you at 2 p.m. Central Time for simple stamping, and then we step it up a little bit and see which one we like the best. And I love doing this. This is actually my second Facebook Live each week. If you're new here, I also do Facebook Live every Tuesday. At the same time, 2 p.m. Central Time, I do Teach Me Tuesday. So we learn something new on Tuesdays, and on Thursday, we keep it simple, and then we step it up. So I'm going to give it just a minute here to see if anybody else is going to join me live. Let me make sure I'm in the right place. Yes, I am on my Sweet Stamper page. Every now and again, I accidentally go to my personal page and start my Facebook it was buffering for just a minute. Every once in a while, I do accidentally start on my Facebook Live on my personal page, and I realize that because all kinds of people start weighing in that are not crafters, that are a lot of other people in my life that are typically not here for Facebook Live. So anyway, I'm in the right place. I am on my Sweet Stamper Facebook page. So welcome, welcome. We are in the midst of the big Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper sale. And so we have 9 of our annual catalog papers that are on 15% off. So I'm featuring at one of those papers every single Facebook Live throughout the month of July. And that helps you to get some great ideas on how to use your papers. So whether you shop with me, which I greatly appreciate, or maybe you're a demonstrator and you shop on your own, or maybe you have another demonstrator, I want to inspire you and empower you to use your Designer Series paper. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the camera down, and I know there's some people weighing in here, and I'm going to greet you once I bring the camera down and we look at where we're going to go for today. So give me just a moment, please. Okay, let me make sure I'm seeing what you're seeing, and yay, I'm well positioned. Okay. Well, let me just click on here so I can see who is on here with me. Hey, Jill is here, and Kay, and Diana, and Simone, and Susan, and Kathy, and Jackie, and Gail. Hey, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me. So I wanted to show you, first of all, where we went last week for simple and stepped up stamping. This is what we did for simple stamping, and this is what we did for stepped up stamping. So this was featuring In the Wild Designer Series paper. It's actually part of a suite that I don't own the suite, but I do own the paper. And so kind of the method in my madness with this is, what do you do with paper that you love, but maybe you don't have the whole, like the stamp set and the dies and all of that. So that was kind of where I was going with this. And as you can see, this one is purely just stamps, ink, and paper with the Designer Series paper. And then with that nice big bold greeting from Biggest Wishes. And then here, I did the same exact layout. I did a different set of patterns here. And then I added a little punch, I added a piece of ribbon, and I added some of the in color gems. So that was simple and stepped up last week. Hey Velma, I'm glad you've joined us. I did want to show you, I have a couple of swaps and samples from this suite that kind of shows you some more ideas on how to use this paper. Now these use the actual suite. So this has all these different wildcats in it, which are really cool images, and there's also a lot of greenery here. So here, that You Are Fierce, all of my samples have the same greeting. So evidently that is the greeting of choice for this suite that a lot of people have been inspired by. Hey Elaine, I'm glad you're here with me. And then this one as well. Look at the detailing on that cheetah. My oldest granddaughter is a big fan of wildcats, and in particular cheetahs. So I don't know, I may have to break down and get this sweet before all is said and done. But this was simple and stepped up last week. Oh, I've got one more sample for you. This was actually a card from my upline. This was a congratulations card because I was in her top sales group. And look how she's just pieced those patterns together. I love that. So another great idea for how to use your designer series paper. Now let me show you really quick what we did on Tuesday, and then we're going to get after today's project. So on Tuesday, we were doing Teach Me Tuesday, and I was teaching you how to do this fun fold card using the Garden Birdhouses stamp set. This Garden Birdhouses stamp set is actually the stamp set that I am featuring in this month's Cards with a Twist class. Oh, I got this knot a little bit tight here. Probably because I was photographing. Although you do need to have your knot kind of small if you're going to put this into an envelope. So there my knot opens, and then here we open like this. Look how pretty that paper is. This is a great trifold card to really showcase your designer series paper. And so for this one, I was also showcasing the Garden Birdhouses, which again is my Cards with a Twist class. Hey Alice, welcome from Indiana, and welcome Susan. Oh, Adriana's here from the Texas Valley. Welcome, welcome ladies. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is show you a quick and easy way to take a sheet of designer series paper like this and how you can cut it in a way that's going to give you some great cards to work with. Because you might look at this and think, well, how the heck am I going to use that? But this is really designed to cut down the center and then to use that piece. Now that obviously would be a terrific scrapbook page. So you right there, you could even bring it down a little bit like so. You'd have the great beginnings of a scrapbook page. Alice, thank you so much for sharing my video with your friends. That helps me tremendously. Welcome, welcome, Barb Jones. So I have my paper trimmer, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do here. And that is, I'm going to trim this at 5 1/4, which is not down the center because 6 would be down the center. But I'm going to go ahead and trim it at 5 1/4 because that's going to be perfect for my card bases, or actually my cards. I'm going to do a layer that's going to be at 4 by 5 1/4. And I'll show you why we're going to do that. And then we're going to do some stamping, and we're going to have some fun with this. Now, let me show you really quick before I clear this away. I'm going to need that again, so I'll leave it there. This is the paper that we're working with. So this is the paper that I used on Tuesday for my trifold designer paper card. But you can see there's a lot of really fun patterns here. And great color scheme, lots of greens with some little pops of Cajun Craze and, it's that new one. It's the in color, Cinnamon Cider. I knew it was something to eat or drink. Okay, so let's see what I'm going to do with this today. I'm actually going to pair it with this stamp set. Again, this is a set of papers that I don't have the suite. Believe it or not, I know that this Bloom Where You're Planted is really popular, but I wasn't sure that it was a stamp set that I would use. So I got the paper, but not the suite. But look here at these patterns, and look how that little leaf right there, which looks a lot to me like a eucalyptus leaf, has a really similar pattern, or a really similar design. So I thought that would make a fun way to incorporate this into a design. And let's see, I have here, one of the colors in this is Garden Green. And so I'm going to just layer that on there, and look at there, boom. I mean, you're almost there. You're almost there. But I think we're gonna step it up a little bit with some stamping and see where we go. Let me get a little bit of grid paper here, because I'm going to be stamping off the paper. Now, this is one of those really cool distinctive stamp sets. So when you stamp it, it automatically is going to give you a lot of shading. And I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to use my garden green, but I'm also going to use rich raspberry. So that's my color scheme. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp on Sahara Sand cardstock rather than stamping on basic white. There's already a lot of white here. There's a lot of contrast here, and I'm wanting to kind of calm this down a little bit. So, oh, Mary, welcome. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you're liking the cards that we're showing. So I'm going to build a little bit of a scene here, and I'm going to start with that image because it, to me, mimics pretty similarly what's already in that designer paper. But I don't want so much, there's already so much green here, and I want to inject another color to help break up. You know, if you think about gardens, really beautiful gardens, they typically have a lot of green and then they have pops of color. You need those pops of color to break it up. Otherwise, it just looks like so much of the same, and it can just be a little bit much. So I've created a little bit of a scene here. And you know what I think I'm going to do is, because we're going to do a simple and a stepped up, let's just create both the scenes at the same time. And you see how when you use your stamp, or I should say your ink, a colored ink on a colored cardstock, because although this is Sahara Sand, there's a lot of color in it already. You can see that this has a different look than if you are using it on basic white. So Diana, you would not have bought this, but now you really like it. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Once you kind of see things and see the possibilities, I think a lot of times we have a different view. Now look also at how this distinctive stamp, you see how that's creating all of those shades? Lots of different shading that's already there without me having to do any of the work. So this is very definitely a quick and easy card. I'm going to use my garden green, and I'm going to bring in just a little bit of greenery, not too much, but I want to tie it in with the paper. And you see how they can just kind of stamp right on top of each other. And let's see now, let's do some more over here. And bring a little bit of green into the pattern. And then what I'm going to do is, for both simple and stepped up, I'm going to mat this on a little bit of, let's flip this over because it starts messing with my eye. Okay, let's mat this on a piece of rich raspberry. Now you see how that starts bringing it all together? And that's what we want. We want a harmonious look where we're going to just bring everything together. And I think that my rich raspberry, you see how that's bringing me a nice pop of color? And I think that I might just bring it right down like that. We'll see where we get on. So now we are going to do the same thing here. Got a little bit more adhesive on this one than I did on my first one. Now I'm going to use the Hello Greeting, and I think I actually might also use some of this little guy here. This little pattern, kind of a paint spatter, that is part of Forever Fern, is a really cool element, and you see how I can actually add it right here and give just a little bit of extra oomph to my designer series paper. So that's just going to kind of fill in a little bit of that white space, but still keep it harmonious with everything else that I'm doing. So that has a lot of pattern, I recognize. There's a lot of leaves and a lot of pattern, but I like it. I actually like it. Let's see, Valerie. That's what happened when you did the Magnolia folder on the foil paper. You had to get it. Well, I'm glad that you used it on an awesome anniversary card. It is that kind of really wow factor with when you use that embossing folder on any of the foil papers. It's definitely a wow look. So, and yes, Jackie, it is amazing what you can do with just stamps, ink, and paper. So that's what this, the only addition we have this time is a little bit of designer series paper. And you know, Stampin' Up, we actually have a kind of a, not really a challenge each month, but a kind of a focus, and it's called #Simple Stamping. And we just take stamps, ink, and paper, and then typically they'll add one thing to it. And this month it is, of course, designer series paper. So I'm just hand cutting this little hello. And for me, the only way I can do that and keep it relatively straight is to use, you know, a long bladed pair of scissors, because that's going to allow me to pop that in just like so. And then what I want to do is, because I am keeping it just to stamps, ink, and paper, and I'm keeping it to designer series paper, and this is a little crooked. It's okay. It's a handmade card. But I want to bring in an element that I haven't done in a long time, and I used to do when I first started stamping. And I'm going to make a little cardstock ribbon. So again, this is why I have these long blade scissors out. I'm going to take just a thin piece of cardstock, and I don't need a super long one. And I think I did not bring a bone folder over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the fibers by just running it back and forth with my bone folder. This doesn't take long at all. And you'll find that once you do this a few times, it starts to feel almost like fabric, because it's breaking down the fibers and softening them. So now I can take this little piece of cardstock and I can fold it like so. And this is really nifty if you don't have, like I don't have any rich razzleberry ribbon. But look at that, I have a little knot that I've created with my cardstock. Again, just a little, kind of a little, almost like a little hack, a little simple tip of what you can do with a little piece of cardstock, just a little sliver. The key is that you need to use a thin piece, and the other key is that you need to take your bone folder and just go back and forth a few times. Okay. Now you see, I could even just do the hello. I mean, it looks pretty good just the way it is, but we're going to add some stamping there. Probably could have made that a little bit smaller. Maybe I'll do that on this one. I've already stuck it down, never mind. Yep, I stuck them both down. See, this is my stamping on the fly, because I have a few things in mind when I start here, but I never do the cards until I get here, which sometimes blows up on me. But most of the time it works out really well. Okay, Diana, you've never seen a ribbon made with cardstock. Okay, then that is a good thing that you've learned something today. It's actually really cool. So this, could even go that way, but I won't. Let's keep it this way. I like it. So I pop this up on dimensionals, and then this is just going to go right here. I think I could probably clean it up just a wee bit. Let's see if I can get it a little bit straighter. Let's see. And then maybe we'll bring it down a little bit over here. And I'm actually going to just stick this straight down. I'm not going to pop it up on dimensionals, because this is on dimensionals. And now this is straight. And then I'm going to pop that guy right there. I probably should have flagged this. Let's do that real quick. Or let's just do a little slash. That might be better. Oh yeah, I like that little slash. That looks cool. Okay, so let me get a mini glue dot. Then that card, my simple stamping card, is done and dusted. And now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to step it up a little bit. So there is my little cardstock ribbon. Let's trim it just a bit. Just like you would trim the tails of your ribbon. You just trim it down a little bit. Boom. Okay. Simple, super simple stamping, but the Designer Series paper really kind of makes it flash and makes it special. Now let's take and let's step it up a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this same thing here, but this time we are going to make this into a fun fold. So I'm going to do this as a gatefold, which means that I have already cut and scored this so that it meets in the middle, and that way it's going to have that little fun element. What I forgot to bring over here was a white panel for the inside, so I will bring that, but you can see that I need to have my designer paper cut into smaller pieces. So let's see what we can do there. Where did my little cheat sheet go? There we go. So my Designer Series paper, I've already cut it at 5 1/4, but now I need it to be 1 7/8. 1 7/8. So that's almost to the 2. That little line right before the 2. And I need one more. 1 7/8. Right there. And then these guys are going to be right here, like so. And that right there, look how that's already, because it is breaking up the paper and giving you a little piece in between, it's already kind of changing the pattern and changing the design a little bit. So let's see. Hey Terry, welcome. I'm glad to see you here today. You are joining our simple and stepped up stamping. We've done our, oopsie, I'm upside down. We have done our simple card that was Stamps Ink paper and Designer Series paper, and now we're stepping up the exact same design by doing a fun fold, and we'll probably add a few little embellishments too, just because I like to add a little bit of shine when I can. I think I need to replace my blade on my trimmer because I'm getting a little bit of shaggy edges right there. But you know what you can do when that happens is just grab your, lift this real quick. I think, yeah, this hasn't gone down all the way yet. If you've got these little shaggy edges, just take your emery board and it will, now this doesn't, if you have a really dull blade and it's super shaggy, yeah, you just need to replace the blade and then recut. But if it's just a few little shaggy edges, your emery board will do a really good job of neatening that up, just like what it does for our hands. Okay, so that is there. And now this, you see how that's already given me a little extra design element? I'm glad you like this paper, Twyla. It's actually really good for card making and for scrapbooking. I think I'm actually going to bring it up this time and bring my hello down here. So let's see what we can do with that. Oh, you know what? Should I or shouldn't I? Let's see. I was thinking about doing this in a die cut to step it up. So let's think, should we step it up with a die cut? Yeah, let's do that. I think I have my Baby Boss over here. If you don't have these tailor-made tags yet, this is an absolute must-have. You need these. These are terrific for scrapbooking and they're terrific for card making. So let's just take, I'm going to take one of the more trim ones, this small one here. You don't like it up. Susan, you don't like it. Okay, you mean you don't like the stepped up? Let me see. Tell me what you mean on you don't like it up. Oh, you don't, oh, I know what you mean now. You don't like the focal piece up high. Okay, I will take that matter into consideration. Okay, so here's the Baby Boss. If you don't have this little guy, you need it. It's only $60. I mean, seriously, this is just so fun to use, so simple to use, and you just need it. Okay. So let's grab a piece of, where'd my white cardstock go? Here we go. So there, 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 and there. And let's run this through. We were doing some prep for my retreat coming up, which is next week. And we were using the heck out of this Baby Boss yesterday. I will tell you that next week at this exact time, I will be broadcasting to you live from my Creative Escape retreat. And it's going to be awesome. The last couple of times I've done my Creative Escape, I have done my Facebook Live from Creative Escape. So you get a little bit of a tour of the retreat space and what we're doing, and then you will also be stamping, of course. Okay, so let's see what we do here. What do we think about this? Is that too much, or is it about right? Do we like that element, or is it a little bit too much? Oh, I kind of like it off kilter. I think that might be nice. Now let's grab a white panel. A basic white panel for the inside is going to be a must. So let's bring this back over, and let's grab this again. And okay, so Twyla, you like it tilted as well. And yes, Terry, I understand about needing it all. I totally agree. Every time I see something and think, yeah, I think I don't really need that, and then somebody does something with it, or I get a swap, or I see something and go, oh, maybe I do need it after all. Yeah, that is all too common. Attach to a ribbon and leave it to dangle. Oh, that's a cute idea. Let's see, let's bring this leaf in here, and then a little one here. And that's going to go on the inside. And I think that's going to be really pretty, so that when you open the card, you have all of that loveliness on the inside. Now, look at the difference between the same stamping. That's kind of a cool card right there. But look at the exact same colors on basic white and on Sahara sand. You see how these are softer and deeper and a little more subtle, where there's a bolder contrast here. Okay, so this is going to go on the inside of my card. Pull this back over like so. I don't know about you guys, but my eye gets distracted pretty easily, so I need a calm surface underneath me when I have when I'm working on something. So my grid paper gets folded and switched a lot. So now look how when you open, that's where we're stepping up. Now this we're going to attach only on one side. We don't want, because we want to be able to open the card. So let's add some dimensionals right over here, just on the left side. And this is coming together ever so quickly. And I'm just going to go right in a row, 3 dimensionals right in a row. Hey, Kim, welcome from Michigan. I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for sharing my video. That helps me tremendously. We're doing simple and stepped up stamping today. So this is our stepped up version. Now, where did that die cut go? Ay, Candy Rattray, where did it go? I just had it. Lord have mercy. You know, I drive myself a little bit crazy sometimes. I just made that cute die cut. It's basic white, and it's somewhere here on this table. Okay, am I going to have to make another one? Anybody see it? Anybody see my die cut? Terry, I appreciate you sharing as well. Anybody got my die cut? Where are you? Ay. Can you believe it? Did I put it back in my bag with my Baby Boss? No, it's not in there. Ay. Well, you know what? While I'm looking for it, and deciding where it is, I need a couple of opinions. Hi, Penny. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to add a little bit of blingy, and I've got these elegant faceted gems, which I think have real possibilities here. And I also have these genial gems, and I think they have possibilities. The green much more than the pale papaya. So tell me what you think about those. There's one. I cannot believe I can't find my little die cut. I'm telling you what. Do you guys have that sucking hole in your studio space, in your stamping space, where something just disappears? Unbelievable. See, I know I cut it out. There's the negative image of it, and it is nowhere to be found. Craziness, absolute craziness. Okay, so Jackie, you like the green gems? Yep, okay. Is it in the fold of the grid paper? That's a great try. Good suggestion, Velma, but it's not there. Okay, we're going to make another one of these. Can you believe it? Yeah, for me, yeah, we can believe it. Okay, let's grab a white scrap. And it's not even on the floor. I checked the floor. Okay, let's try again. Oh, it's with the die, because the die's missing. Oh no, the die's here. Oh, I just found it. It's underneath. Woohoo! All right. Save the day. Green gems are getting a lot of play here. Okay. The green gems it is. Now, probably should have stamped this before should we do this? And we did it in garden green last time. Let's go with the garden green again. I think we need a little bit of green there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this on my grid paper straight. So you see how it's going downhill just a wee bit? That tells me that when I stamp it, I need to go compensate just a little bit. And that happens particularly with your cling rubber stamps sometimes when user error, if you get your, your sticker sheet on there just a little tiny bit crooked, that is what will happen. Okay, so we've all had a good laugh because Candy had her major blonde moment. I'm going to go ahead and stick this down flat again because this is up on dimensionals. And I do find, as much as I love dimensionals, if you get too many layers of height going, it's kind of too much of a good thing. Yeah, we're going to do it right like that. Now I need another one of those cardstock ribbons, and I think maybe, let's go with a green one this time, just to change it up a little bit. I have a green scrap somewhere here. And again, we're going to just cut a super thin piece of cardstock. And then we are going to take the bone folder and we're just going to, I got this one super thin, look how fine that is. And we're going to just gently run it across the bone folder, and that's breaking down the fibers and creating a real soft feel. And that is going to enable me to have a cardstock ribbon. Now, I will tell you that when you have it really thin like this, here's my original, you do have to be a little careful when you're tying it that you don't tie too tight because it'll snap, it's so thin. But I do like, look how pretty that is. And then you have ribbon of every color that you own the cardstock for. So let's trim that, and I'm going to pop that right in there. Isn't that nifty? Because instead of using the little reinforcement that's part of the dies, I'm doing it there. Penny, thank you so much for sharing. And hello, Melissa. I don't think you were on here earlier, so we're glad that you have joined us. So let's put our little cardstock ribbon right like that. It's already, here's simple and here's stepped up. And all we did was we added a die cut here. and we did a fun fold versus just a plain. Now we're going to do one more little element, and we're going to add some of these genial gems. Let me grab my take your pick tool. Is brilliant for putting on any kind of jewels, any of these self-adhesive guys. Oh, look how pretty. See how that's iridescent? Well, I'm glad, Kay, that you're liking my cardstock ribbon idea. You know, it really is. Just really enables you to do some fun, creative things, and that's kind of what we do. We like fun and we like creativity. You know what? I'm going to just really bling this thing out. I'm going to go with a lot of these. My rule of thumb with these is you want to go with an odd number. So I think I'm going to put them, do I want one up here? I think I do. I think I want one like that. So there is, move all of this out of the way. Let me go here, simple, and then stepped up. Tell me which one you like better. I think they both have elements of charm. And this was using the Bloom Where You're Planted Designer Series paper. Let me grab that paper again before we sign off and show you. This is the paper in all its glory. And I kind of went off grid with the, you know what, garden green. I didn't get that green put on here. I'm missing a circle. But this is using one of these fun pieces of Designer Series paper where you already have a really strong directional pattern. So, okay, I've got a lot of love on both cards. They do each have their own bit of character. Betty's loving the fun fold. Yeah, I'm a sucker for fun folds. But I do like that, I'm happy that there's a lot of people like them both, because one of my goals with simple stamping is to make a card that I'm really happy with and that other people are happy with, because this is where we start. You know, this is where brand new stampers start. And I always want my stamping to be that which enables people to jump in wherever they are, even if they have never had any experience. So if you wanted to, you know, have a friend over and do some stamping, this would be a great way to get them started. And this is going to give you really quick success. And this would as well, because all we did was we just added a die cut and then added a fun fold, and boom, look at all that. That is really, I do like having, I will say it wasn't totally planned that way. Actually, it wasn't planned that way at all. But I do like when you have the stamping done on colored cardstock and then on the white, because there's a contrast and you see the beauty of both. So that is it for today. I am going to love you and leave you. I will, before I do that, show you really quick just a reminder that this is my Cards with a Twist class this month. Cards with a Twist is my 8-card class where we do two each of 4 designs, but there's a twist. So the twist, as you can see, sometimes the twist is the color of the stamping. Sometimes the twist is the Designer Series paper. I've got 2 different fun folds in this set of 8 cards. Here's my twist on this one, is we've added some different colors. And then this is another fun fold using that Designer Series paper on the inside. So these are fun cards to make. This is my 8-card class. You get everything you need for these cards, plus you get a half roll of this faux suede trim. You get a full package of these metallic pearls, and you get a half a pack of this beautiful In Good Taste Designer Series paper. So there's 12 different designs here, so you do get a full sheet of each one. And all of that is $35, and it comes to you including your mailing. So all of that is included. I did use the set number 1 of the watercolor pencils. So you would need to have these to do the designs the way I have them. You can use other coloring mediums. You can use markers. You can use blends. But I did them with the soft colors in the, well, kind of the soft. When you use the watercolor pencils, I think they're a little bit softer. So you can add those on if you want to. The stamp set that we're featuring for all 8 cards is Garden Birdhouses. So that is Cards with a Twist. My monthly class, 8 cards, $35. Everything included that you need to make your cards. Everything is prepped and ready for you. All your die cuts are done. And then there's a couple of options of things that you can add on if you so wish. So thank you so much for being here with me today. It's been fun. I do love stamping with you. And it's just our fun way to connect in the middle of the day, kind of depending on which time zone you're in. I know Susie's not on here right now. Maybe she'll watch the replay. I'm oftentimes sharing lunch with her. So she's just eating lunch. And if you're on the East Coast, then it's the afternoon for you. So, and for me, it's kind of right smack in the middle of my day. I typically, right after this, I try to tidy up a little bit when I'm done, but I usually have a cup of tea right after this and a little bit of a snack. So my wish for you is to have a great day today. I am going to love you and leave you, and thank you so much for popping by. I will see you here on Tuesday for Teach Me Tuesday. More Designer Series paper fun, and I thank you again for sharing my video. Take care, and God bless.